Below me is a number of players that have been linked with moves to Liverpool this summer under the Arne slot rebuild. And we're going to be putting all these players into categories. At the end of the video, we're going to pick 5 players which are the must-sign category. 5 players I'd pick for Liverpool to sign, which will be a long-term Matip replacement. Someone that's versatile, that can play left back, left centre-back for coverage there. A DM, a winger, and a striker. They're going to be picked at the end of the video. So those players will be going from the great category signing to the 5 max must sign. The great category is going to be a number of signings that I think are going to be great signings for Liverpool. The decent category is players where if Liverpool sign them, fair enough. They wouldn't be in my top 3 for each position, but fair enough. Good prospect / cheap alternative. It's not a bad signing when you look at the age or the value for money. Could do better as players Liverpool have been linked with, but I don't think are personally the best options. And they're never happening. I mean, I'll show an example of never happening, like Kvaratskhelia, Rafael Leao. So this is 5 realistic signings Liverpool could make. We're going to be going through reported Liverpool targets, and not every Liverpool target is here, and most of Liverpool's targets they're not going to sign. But we're going to break down a list of players that have been linked to Liverpool. So please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down if you're new. We'll start more defensive with Pacho. Now, Pacho is one of those where if he's under 50 million, I think it's a great signing. If he's under 45 million, I think it's a great signing, to be honest. If he's over 45 million, it's a decent signing. Can play left back, can play left centre-back. I believe he's 21 or 22. Very, very good player, very good on the ball. Did a video talking about him in more detail. But I think there are better options at that left centre-back, left back role that are a little bit cheaper, in my opinion. A few better options. Another one is Gertruda, and I have to apologise that I'm going to definitely pronounce a couple of names wrong. I think, considering he's been quoted at £25 million, considering Arne Slot as the manager, he's not someone I would link to Liverpool if Arne Slot wasn't the manager, if you know what I mean. Like, if Arne Slot wasn't the manager, it'd be decent signing. But considering he's Arne Slot's boy, 25 million, I think that's got to go in the great signing category if Liverpool make it. Hancko, I think, could be a great signing again because of the relation with Arne Slot, but originally he'd be a decent signing. When you look at, when I'm putting them in categories, I'm taking into account what their price could be, the manager, the way the manager wants to play. So I'll put him in there as well, but I feel like these guys would probably be in decent signing if it wasn't for Arne Slot. Calafiori, definitely said that wrong. I've been really impressed when I've watched him play, and I'm not going to act like I've watched him play a lot, but 21 years of age, he can play left back, he can play left centre-back. He really, really impresses me whenever I see him. I think he's a good prospect, but I don't think he's a cheap alternative. I think he could be a really, really good signing, so I'm going to put him in great signing again. Why am I putting so many names in great signings? Maybe when he's lowered the categories. Scolvani, again, 20 years of age, that would be a great signing. I mean, he's more of a prospect, really. I'm going to move this guy down to decent signing because I feel like we're putting too many players in great signings. You can't see his face, but 20 years of age, was voted the best, actually was voted the second best young defender in Serie A after Calafiori. So both of those are on the list, and both of those have been linked to Liverpool. And I think Liverpool will be looking at a Matip replacement, and I think they'll be wanting to bring in someone quite young. We're going to go into some other options like Tapsoba. I think he's all right. Like, I think it's a decent signing. I mean, I wouldn't put him in could do better because I think he is a decent signing. He wouldn't be in my top 3, but I think he'd be in my, he'd still be an option where I think if Liverpool signed him, I'd be like, you know what, that is good as well. Chalobah. This is Chalobah now. Chalobah is reportedly leading Chelsea, and a couple of people linked him to Liverpool, but he's not been heavily linked to Liverpool. I've put him in good prospect / cheap alternative. Chelsea need to sell. He's Premier League proven. He's been good for Chelsea these last few games. I know a lot of people put him in good, do better. I don't think Chalobah would be a bad signing for Liverpool. I really, really don't. I really, really don't. We're also going to be looking at a few other options like Tosin of Fulham. He's available on a free. I don't think it's a bad signing considering he's available on a free as well. And there's a lot of other options. I'm going to go with Jareth Branthwaite here. Never happening. Everton to Liverpool switch. Don't see that happening. More importantly, he's going to be 60 million. I can't see that option happening here. Lenny Euro for me would be a great signing. I mean, I want a Manchester United. I've done it. I'm doing a Manchester United version of this for my main channel. Lenny Euro, the guy is going to be top. The Euro is going to the top. Scamacca. Scamacca might be a random one. I really like Scamacca. I really rate him. He was crap at West Ham. And if Nunes goes or Liverpool look for a striker, I think he could be a decent signing, which people might call me crazy on. What to do? And I'm going to say the same about Omar Marmoush. Marmoush, he is at Frankfurt. I think he could be a decent signing. When I'm thinking of, probably less than £40 million striker, having decent seasons, I think it could be a decent signing as well. I've not really put many people in the could do better category, but to be honest, I've sort of mostly gone with the signings that I picked for this video as well. We're going to go on to the next one, which is Edison of Atalanta. Now, they are linked to Koopmeiners a bit, who I completely forgot to include in this video. But I think Edison could be more suited to how Arne Slot wants to play, and I'm putting him in great signing. I think he could be a really, really good signing for Liverpool. I really, really do. Going on to the next option. Remember, I'm going to pick 5 from the great signing category and put them over into the next category. De Ligt could do better. De Ligt is going to be 60 million, not what Liverpool need. I'd put him in the could do better category. We're going to look at a couple other players like Bremer. I don't think Bremer's the kind of centre back Liverpool need. I'd put him in the could do better category as well. Archie Gray, I'm going to put in the good prospect / cheap alternative category. I'd like him at Manchester United, young DM coming through. Could be an understudy to Enzo. I don't think it's a bad option as well. Hosselu could do better. I accidentally put him in because he was in my Man United video, and I accidentally put that one in. Probably could do a little bit better than Hosselu. They've been linked to a couple left backs like Melvin Bard and stuff, but I think they could do better. Like Melvin Bard would be a bit more suited to Manchester United, and Ait Nouri I think would be good, but only for the right price. I'm going to put him in never happening because I don't think Liverpool would spend 60 million on Ait Nouri. Going on to an option that is definitely a great signing, and that is Agate. And some of these players in great signings are a lot better than some of the other players in great signings. So I feel like I should move a couple of people down a category. But this guy, this guy would be a brilliant signing, and he's not staying at PSG. I think he could be a really, really good option for Liverpool in the DM role. I'm a big fan of him. Again, would love him at Manchester United, which means he won't end up at Manchester United or end up at a rival, because every time I want Manchester United to sign a player, they go to Arsenal, they go to Liverpool, they go to Manchester City, and we sign a player like Anthony, who I say, why are we spending more than 40 million on this guy? I'm not convinced. We go and spend 80 million on him. Frustrates me. Really going to pronounce this wrong, but Schlotterbeck of Borussia Dortmund, I think quoted at £40 million or less. I really rate him. Now, yes, I've watched Champions League hype, but I think he is a top class player. Hato, I think, is a good prospect. I think, to be honest, he could be. You could argue put him in a great signing because of the prospect. Like Lenny Euro and Hato are both great prospects, but I think Lenny Euro will be a little bit better and a little bit more what Liverpool needs. So they're both sound, but I think Lenny Euro is that guy. I really do. Hincapie apparently is available for £45 million this summer, which is why he's going to go above Pacho into the great signing category. I've really enjoyed watching him at Bayer Leverkusen. Can play left back with Robertson's, and you can play left centre back, can bring in some versatility. And Simakan as well, another great player that could play right centre back and could even play right back because of his versatility. Like Gertruda, he's going in the great signing category. Remember, we're going to pick 5 players from this great signing category for who I think Liverpool should sign overall. We're going to go with Hjulman. And I think Hjulman, you could arguably put Hjulman in decent signing, but there's 3 or 4 DMs that I think are better suited to Liverpool. So I'm just going to put Hjulman in the could do better category. Okay, following on with other options, we're going to look at Nusa, who I think could be a good prospect or cheap alternative. Almost went to Spurs in January, was going to go to Brentford but failed his medical. Apparently Luis Diaz is leaving Liverpool. That was a rumour about it. I don't know if there's any truth in that, but I do think he's definitely a good young winger. I think if Liverpool lose 2 wingers, they'll need 2 wingers, and they'd almost want like a main winger like an Olise or Nico Williams, and then their second winger could be like a Nusa or a Sule type player as well. I'm putting Pedro Neto in could do better. I think if Pedro Neto was available for the right price and he could stay fit, he'd be a really good signing for Liverpool if he could stay fit. But he can't stay fit, and he's overpriced. I'm actually just going to put him in never happening, because I just think he's going to be. Wolves want 80 million for a guy that can't stay fit. Liverpool have had injury issues this season. Like, I think it's a decent signing. Like, if Liverpool sign Pedro Neto, I think, and they get him for less than 50 million, it is a decent signing. If they get him for less than 50 million, you can argue it's a great signing. Like, but Jota's injury prone, by another injury prone player from Wolves. I think when you look at the wing options out there, I'd put Neto and could do better. And I feel really horrible doing that because I don't rate Matthijs de Ligt. I do really rate Pedro Neto. I really, really do. So I'm going to put him in never happening. I just think too injury prone. Cuba, I think, would be a decent signing for Liverpool. I really do like the guy. I think he's a good winger. I do think they might want someone a little bit more 1v1 potentially with the way Arne Slot plays, but it really, really depends, because I'm thinking of someone that's a bit more stylistic to Salah, but I think Cuba's been great this season. Bakayoko, again, I'd put in decent signing. Value for money, he's been quite heavily linked for Liverpool. I think he's a very good signing. The thing with Bakayoko is he's still a prospect. He's still so young. So he could go in decent prospect. He could go in good prospect. He could go in decent signing. I do think it would be a really good signing. You could argue it's a great signing, actually, but I'm going to put him in decent signing. Just because I don't want to put too many players in great signings. I feel like I'm doing that a lot. Who would be a great signing, though, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, is Xerxes. I am a massive fan of Xerxes, and the reason he's going in great, I put him in the top by mistake. The reason he's going in great signing is he's got a £34 million release clause. Liverpool might want a striker. Apparently there was a report that came out that Liverpool were looking at, Liverpool, I think Michael Edwards or whoever's at Liverpool didn't want Darwin Núñez. They wanted a more Firmino-esque player like Nkunku, and that's what you get in Xerxes. And when Xerxes got a release clause, I know he's in his Bayern Munich kit, that's an old picture. When he's got a release clause of £34 million that's been confirmed, you've got to take that into account. If Xerxes was available for 100 million, I'd be saying no way. Or if Xerxes was 60 million, I'd be putting him in decent. If he was 70 million, I'd be putting him in good, do better. But the fact that he's 34 million, he has to go in great signing for me for the pure fact that he's available for 34 million pounds. Todibo again is available for 34 million pounds. I'm going to put him in decent signing though, because I think there's a few profiles that are better suited to Liverpool. Value for money, great signing, but I'm putting him in decent because I'm trying to take other factors into account, like Arne Slot and what he wants as well here. And to be honest, I feel like Simakan, there's a couple players that could go down, like, to be honest, like Scalvani is probably more of a good prospect, isn't he, as well? Calafiori is probably more of a good prospect, to be honest. So I'm going to bring them down a category, actually, because I feel like I'm putting people in great signing a little bit too quick there as well. João Pedro, for me, a bit like Xerxes, striker that can facilitate wingers, would be a very decent signing, but I think Brighton would be like 70 million, so there's no point. Matheus Cunha as well, I think would be a great signing. Matheus Cunha would be brilliant. The only problem is his price tag. Wolves want to charge a lot for their players, so can't see it happening. If Liverpool could get Matheus Cunha, I think he would be an option for you. Premier League proven. He's more Firmino-esque, facilitates your wingers, all of that kind of stuff. Decent signing, Kim Min-jae may be available. Not been happy at Bayern Munich, although Thomas Tuchel is leaving, but I do think he'd be a good signing, Kim Min-jae. Nico Williams was going to go in great signing. I was going to put Nico Williams in great signing, but apparently he's demanding like 300k a week, which now puts him in decent signing because of his wage demands. I think are very, very ridiculous as well. So that's why he's changing over there. Now I'm just going to change my screen angles here so you can see the full tier list here. Mats Wieffer, I think, could be a decent signing. I think because he's played under Arne Slot, you could put him in great signing, but it depends on the price. I'm going to put him, I'll put him in great signing because he's played under the manager, he's played under Arne Slot, and I do think Mats Wieffer's a bowler. Okay, I don't particularly rate Amadou Onana that much. Everyone's hyping up Amadou Onana. Everyone's saying, oh, Amadou Onana, he's him, he's class, all of that stuff. I'm not the biggest Amadou Onana rater. Sometimes I watch him, I think, Bosh, wow, one of Man United. Other times I watch him, I think, now he's overrated. I'm going to put him in could do better. Actually, no, that's unfair. I'm going to put him in decent signing if he's available at the right price. But then also, he's at Everton and he's going to be really expensive, so I'm just going to put him in never happening. Oh, I don't know where to put him because I think he's similar-ish to Mats Wieffer, but I just think, you know what? We'll put him in decent signing. I think he can be a decent player. Is he a decent signing for Liverpool? No, I'm going to put him in never happening. I don't know if it's a decent signing for Liverpool. Fofana will be a great signing because he's £25 million. If Fofana was £50 million, I'd put him in decent signing, but a little bit on the expensive side. But £25 million for Youssouf Fofana, he's got to go in great signing for me. Michael Olise, who could be Manchester United bound, which I'm really happy about. I think Olise is everything. I think he's amazing. I think he's the perfect guy. I do think Liverpool want more direct sort of 1v1 wingers that go on the outside, and Olise is more of a pass-first winger. But I think he's the guy. So I'd put him right up in great signing. But hopefully he'll be wearing a Manchester United shirt. Ivan Toney, I think, is a decent signing, depending on the price. But it depends on the price. I'm going to put could do better. I think if Ivan Toney's 40 million or less, it's a decent signing. If he's over 40 million, with his age, with reported attitude issues, maybe they could do better. Actually, I'll put him in decent signing. I'll put him in decent signing because we know what he's capable of. Gyökeres is never happening. Now, Gyökeres, if Liverpool could pull off Gyökeres, that would be a brilliant signing, but that is never happening. And then Benjamin Sesko, I think, would be a decent signing. £42 million release clause as well. So far, this is the list. I feel like I've definitely forgot to include like a couple of players that have been strongly linked to Liverpool. But there is the list. I've now got to pick 5 players for Liverpool moving forward. And you've got to remember this. Liverpool, let's say 5 signings. I've picked a right centre-back, a versatile player that can play left centre-back and left-back, a DM, a right winger or a left winger, but I think right potentially is more. Because I think Gakpo could be really good on the left wing on the Arne slot. I think other players can play there, and a striker. And we are going right up there. First choice, easiest choice for me, Ugarte. If you can get him, go for him. Endo's been decent, but Liverpool need another midfielder. And for me, Wieffer's decent, but I think Ugarte could be another level. I do. I really rate him. I really, really rate him. I'd say the other option is between Matheus Cunha and Xerxes, but with Xerxes' 34 million release clause and realistic, I'll go with Xerxes. I'd go Xerxes, a must sign for them. I would then say, midfield-wise, I like Edison. I like Fofana. I like Wieffer, but we've gone with Ugarte. We've gone with Xerxes for the striker, although I like Cunha. Defenders now. Defenders. I think, if it's true that he's available for £45 million, Hincapie. If that is true that he's available for £45 million, left centre-back, left-back, I think Liverpool should be all over that. They need a right-sided centre-back, someone that's going to be a long-term replacement for Matip. Winger, I realised I've missed someone really important out. Mohamed Kudus isn't even on the list. I feel like I've got to edit the list and put Mohamed Kudus in now, because the 5th signing would be Mohamed Kudus. And I mean, I could put Olise on there. I knew I missed someone. I think Olise would be great, but Mohamed Kudus is who they should go for. Now, I knew I missed someone. I probably missed multiple people. There's so many players they've been linked to. Mohamed Kudus. If I was Liverpool, they'd be the 5 players I think I'd sign. I don't know if they could get them all. Xerxes would be £34 million. Calafiori could be £40 million, which is 75 on the 2. Their only real chance of getting Kudus is if they sell Salah. I think it depends on sales, really. It's probably not the most realistic. I mean, if we could make it more... If anything, I'd actually probably put Lenny Euro in there. If anything, I'd probably put Lenny Euro in there, but I'm just trying to make it a bit more realistic. Like, if I was Liverpool and I was looking at a long-term replacement, I'd go for Lenny Euro. Because Calafiori is a very similar profile to Hincapie. And actually, in fact, go back on that. That's what I'm done with, because I've just realised they're both left centre-backs and you need a right centre-back to replace Matip. I had a brain fart. I had a big brain fart there and forgot that he was a left centre-back, Calafiori. So I would go with him and I would go with Lenny Euro as the right centre-back. That's what I'd do. And I would put Kudus in. I completely messed up the ending of this video. But if I picked 5, Xerxes striker, Ugarte DM, Lenny Euro right centre-back, Calafiori left centre-back, whose name I probably am butchering, Kudus right wing. They would be the 5 names I signed. I completely had a brainwave there. But I think the other options in great signings are good options. There's some good options in decent signings, good prospects there as well. That's who I pick. Let me know your thoughts down below. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. See you next time. Bye.